Hello, Steve.
Hello, Rich.
We're one down again today, aren't we?
Ah, yes, just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
Song there somewhere.
There's a song there, yeah. Well, we've got a very special one for you today. Steve's been doing his roving reporting bit again, very well, I should say. And we've managed to get hold of our old friend, Alan Williams. And we've been trying to catch him for ages, haven't we?
We certainly have. I think from the start of it, I think he was one of the first ones we asked, and our paths have never really crossed. So, yes, hopefully it's a good one to have a listen to.
So, yeah, and so I think we'll just let it roll and let it play and see what you think.
Well, I'm joined today with the one and only Aled Williams. Lovely to see you, Aled.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening indeed. So, how about going through your banding career to start with? How you started?
How long have you got?
Oh, it's got, hang on, it's got about 90 hours on this thing, so we're all right. Yeah.
We'll have to do it in two sittings.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I started playing in Towyn Silver Band, not Towyn on the North Wales coast, but Towyn in Meirionydd. And I remember my uncle played in the band, so Mum and Dad thought it would be a good idea for me to go to band. So I remember going to their youth band when I was about 12, and I can remember sitting through the whole practice and not really being interested at all. And I can remember the second week, my parents said to me, right, band, and I didn't want to go. And they had to basically drag me there, almost kicking and screaming, not quite.
Yeah. I think most people have been in that situation. Over the years,
Maybe that's what happened to me more recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had to kind of drag me there. And I remember sitting through the rehearsal, not interested one bit, not really interested. I knew what was going on. And at the end of the practice, the conductor at the time, Sidney Jones, he handed me this box, and it had a flugel in it. It was an old Regent flugel, very similar to the one that Tara Fitzgerald plays on the film. Yeah. And they passed it to me, and I managed to get a sound out of it. And I can't describe how quickly I went from being kicking and screaming to being absolutely hooked on the brass band and the brass band sound. It was like an instantaneous thing. And I can remember we were playing football as kids the next day, and I can remember I couldn't wait for the football to end so I could go home and practice this flugel.
Wow.
So and that's it really.
What a difference, eh?
And it's been downhill since then.
Yeah. You have to drag yourself to band. Yeah. Well, it's a wonderful start. Well, did you do any music before that? Had you done anything, or were you straight in with that?
Nothing really formal. We played recorders in school.
Oh, yes. The old recorder, yeah.
And so we played recorders in school, and we had an old guitar at home. I used to play on that, but it was a lot of we used to do a lot of like whacking pots and pans and things, you know, making a drum kit, making an instrument, and just making anything, a din, really.
A din, yeah.
But that was my first kind of formal introduction to music, and of course going to the band, starting to learn to read music, and I've been really fortunate, you know, from there to progress to different things, and I'm lucky now that I you know, that's my job now.
Really the best job in the world, isn't it? You know, with inspiring the children to play, you know, and get involved in all sorts of things. So after sort of starting playing, what was next? Sort of after just starting off, how did you end up on the youth?
I think there's a bit of a natural progression in brass banding where you start off on a small instrument, and then you sometimes get put on the instrument that nobody plays in the band.
Yes, indeed.
And at the time, I think they needed a baritone player in Towyn band, so I ended up initially on the second baritone, and then worked. And once I heard somebody play the Euphonium, again, that was it. There wasn't any other instrument I wanted to play, but I knew that I had to do my apprenticeship on the baritone, and then you know, if I work hard enough, eventually I'll get a place. And I remember they eventually got me Euphonium, and I sat next to a great player called David Vaughan, and then I was lucky enough to play Euphonium, and then it's just moved on from there really. When I was 16, 17, I moved up to Barrow-in-Furness in the South Lake District to do an electrical apprenticeship, and of course part of the draw was that there was a championship section band there.
Okay.
So it was a bit of a shock for me to go from my local village band and straight into a competing championship band. And I can remember them getting Ear of the Dragon last movement out, and I remember I played the first note and I just put my instrument down. I just didn't play any of it.
Yeah.
But in a few weeks' time,
Yes.
I worked hard and I managed to kind of muddle through it. But
Wow. So you had the double whammy of going to live up there and work, and the fact of going from a lower section band to a championship section band. So a complete turnaround for your life, really, as well at the same time.
Massive, yeah. You know, and I'm glad I did it like that. I'm glad I kind of like almost kind of in at the deep end kind of thing where, you know, you're moving 200 miles away from home. You're gonna play in a championship band, and you're gonna go into this shipyard, which is completely alien environment to me at the time. Never worked anywhere similar to that at all. But one thing I did find, as everybody that's listening to this podcast will know, is that when you move to an area and you join a band, you've instantly got, you know, 30 or so friends that will treat you like they've known you for years instantly. It doesn't matter where you go in the country.
Yeah. I think it's almost like you become almost a distant member of the family, don't you, with them? You become that, you know, with certain ones, and the number of people who've been on here, you know, Wayne Coddington said he moved to New Zealand. He'd lived over here, went to Germany, then he went to New Zealand, and he said, you know, basically a player and a family took him in, basically, and looked after him and that was the banding bit. The same when I went to the States. You know, there was a band in Arkansas that I went to. I was working there all the time, and I managed to find a brass band round the corner, and it was like a family.
Yeah, and you're instantly accepted on the same level as all the people that have been there for years. You know, they accept you as, you know, one of their equals. It's a fantastic movement we've got as brass bands.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as I say, when I went to the States, I missed out on the pub every night because I was going to band practice. So, yeah, it was a little bit after. Yeah.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. Saved me a fortune. Yeah. So Barrow, championship section band.
I remember one of my first competitions was because I hadn't competed with a brass band before, so my first contest experience was with that band. And I think we did one contest. The second contest I did was the Grand Shield at the old Free Trade Hall. It would have been 1989, something like that. Yeah. So
wow.
I'm sure I'd have been about 4 years old then.
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, I was only 5 myself. Yeah. And I had about 2 more on the front of it. Yeah, but fantastic to go. Free Trade Hall was magnificent hall, wasn't it? Great place to play. And
massive thrill for me because we went there with Towing Band when we were kids. We went there in, I think it was late 80s. We went there to watch the British Band and Centenary concert, as did many others, and it was a massive thing for us to go and see that show. Yeah, and then, you know, in a few years' time, get to actually play on that stage. Yes. It was a massive, great feeling.
Yeah. And again, what a leap, isn't it? You know, from just going and listening to actually playing there, and in the Grand Shield at that time, it was, you know, it still is a tough old contest, isn't it? We know that one. It's
ballet for band, I think.
Yeah.
Was.
Wow.
I mean, I can remember stuff like that, but I can't remember where I put my car keys.
Well, that's it. Hey, it only gets worse, I tell you. Yeah. I don't even know what I'm doing today. Yeah. Oh dear. So after that, really, what was next?
Well, I did my apprenticeship, and it was the first year really that none of the apprentices were kept on in the yard.
Yeah.
obviously with what was going on at the time. So I moved back to the Towing area, and for my playing, I played in Royal Oakley Silver Band.
Yeah.
Played Euphonium with the Royal Oakley for about 6 years, I think. Really, about 93, something like that. So I played with them for years and had a lot of success in the fourth section and in the third section. And in the meantime, I found that we kind of knew as kids that there was this set of instruments in Abergynolwyn from the old Abergynolwyn band, and we thought, this is interesting, this. Yeah. And they'd said, somebody told me that these instruments were kept under the stage in the village hall, which I thought was too good a song.
You've got to go and see.
So we've got to follow this up now, with the intention of reforming the band.
Yeah.
So I remember going to see one of the trustees, and they arranged a meeting, and these instruments weren't under the stage; they were in a cupboard, and they were locked up. So they opened the cupboard, and they took out these old euphoniums, cornets, and all sorts of stuff. There's old G trombone there. And they were Hawks and Sons, so they were
before they got together,
1930, something like that. Yeah. So they must have been 1920s, and I remember they were black.
Yeah,
and I remember I took a couple of them home and cleaned them up, and the quality of the silver in them things, it was just incredible, because it was just like a brand new sovereign cornet, like a brand new
come
cornet.
up like the colour,
And of course, but we had to adjust them because they were in high pitch and so forth. But I remember we had a meeting, like a village meeting, where we were going to reform the band, and this meeting was full of people. And I remember getting one of the old cornets out that I hadn't touched. It was black. It had been somebody's attic for years, and I held it up and I said, "Oh, this is But the instruments are great, because this is one that I've took on, polished out, and I lifted it up. And there was a lady sat in the front row. I thought she was going to faint.
Yeah.
She couldn't believe it that this thing could turn out to be so nice. And we handed out every single instrument that night. And we had a band practice the next day with Abergynolwyn, and it was literally, I had a full band in front of me.
Wow.
And I had a blackboard back then.
Yes.
And a chalk, and it was like, right. And I don't think I'd ever get that again, where you go, right, these 5 lines here are a stave.
Yeah.
And it was like lesson 1.
Complete, yes.
So there were 1 or 2 that could play, because they played in other bands, but the majority were starting from scratch. And that band, we took them to the fourth section contests, and a lot of local things, and that band's still going now. Great.
Yeah, which is brilliant, isn't it? What a story. Yeah. I know when you said about stuff hidden in a cellar and things, is when we were in Flint, we used to have we used to play in the town hall, and upstairs there was a false floor, and underneath that was where the old instruments used to be kept. I'm talking about a G trombone. I've got one in my shed.
Yeah, I've got the old one from Abergynolwyn.
I've got the old one with Flint written into it.
That's it. Yeah. In fact, a friend of mine I've got the Hawks and Son one, and a friend of mine has got a Boozy and Co. G trombone.
So the other side of the fence, yeah. It's amazing that when you think they were 2 separate companies and come together all them years ago. And as you say, like the old imperial sort of instruments were rock solid, weren't they? And new standards, they were, you could drop them and it wouldn't dent, would it? Dent the floor, I think.
Definitely, yeah. And then in about 2000, I think it was, I was asked to go and help Beaumaris out, and ended up playing with them for a few years. And again, I've been really lucky that a lot of the bands I've gone to have been really successful. I don't think it was because of me. I think they're just really,
you played your part, Ali, but
really
I
good.
know what you mean.
I've been really lucky to work with some fantastic musicians over the years. So I played with Beaumaris for a bit, and what else? Marsden Silver.
And Glenn's band,
yeah. Some good fun up there, and then did 12 months at Foden's. And I think I learnt more in that 12 months than what I did in the kind of the last 12 years, I think. just on a personal level.
Yeah.
I think if you manage to teach yourself, then I think I taught myself more in that, or obviously sponging off different people, you soak up so much information.
Yeah.
That I don't know how I could get that kind of experience without actually doing it.
So was that more from the man in the middle, or was it a mix of that and
mix.
the other players? And
I've got to say, I think I've learned more from people that have played in the band. If you ever, I mean, if ever there's a cornet solo in the band, for instance, I'm playing the euphonium part. I'll always ask Richie, who plays the euphonium with us. I say, "Oh, do you mind playing all the euphonium parts?"
Right.
And it's not because I don't want to play them; it's because I want to listen to the player.
Yeah, right. Okay,
I want to listen to the soloist.
Listen,
And it, and I've been really lucky. Some of the players I've sat opposite. I think the one that stands out for me is Paul Hughes at Beaumaris. I could just sit there and listen to him for hours and hours and hours and just soak in and try and work out what he's doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'd work it out, and sometimes it was just magic.
Yeah, be different. Yeah. And he was the one who played. He actually, when we said about Rastov, he was the one who actually played the flugel, wasn't he?
Certainly was. Yeah.
Yes. So all of you, that's good question for the quiz. Who actually played the flugel part on Rastov? Yeah, what a cracking player!
Yeah, fantastic sound. The way he approached especially slow melody, it was just incredible. And not only him, but I've been really lucky that a lot of the other players I've played with over the years have been, I've learnt so much off them.
Yeah.
And hopefully some of it stuck.
Well, it does. Yeah. They're a good bit stuck. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and it is one of those, isn't it? That's sitting on Principal UFR. You've got your eyes on the way all the bands are set up now. You have got your eyes on the principal, haven't you? Which is great. Because I always used to try and get in a position where I could get me stand high enough so I could see the conductor, but be able to see the fingers. Because you can't always tell what's going on. But I always wanted to see the old PC's fingers.
I remember doing a contest. I think it was with Paul, and I think it was something like Wits and Wakes or something. We had this massive duet style cadenza, and it was just the euphonium and the cornet primarily, and it was really weird. It was almost as if the principal cornet was pressing the valves down for me.
Yeah.
It was so.
It was
intense.
just together. Yeah.
It was just so intense.
Yeah.
It was really strange. But so Beaumaris, Foden's, and more recently, 2006, I joined a band, and they had this really handsome bass player there.
No.
So that was a long time ago.
Time hasn't been too good, I'm telling you. Yes.
So that believe it or not, that was 20 years ago when I joined Northern, and of course you were a big part of the band.
Yeah, before
for
that.
years.
Well, that's crazy, isn't it? 20 years. Just thinking back. Yeah.
And we've been lucky enough to go to the Albert Hall 3 or 4 times. British Open. It's just been a massive roller coaster.
Yeah. And there's not many people can say they've played in the Albert Hall, is there? Anyway, is there? There's a lot of people who never get there, do they?
There's a lot of people that are not connected with the brass bands that, if you tell them you've been to the Albert Hall, maybe they're a classical player, and they just they're in awe.
Yes.
And we're really lucky in the brass band movement that we still get to play in these venues like Symphony Hall and Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah, it was like I was talking to a friend of ours about his son-in-law was going for a graduation to Birmingham to the Symphony Hall. I was like, I was there a couple of years ago listening to the bands, and he said, I thought you would have been, in that level, and it was almost like it's one of the top places to have an event. You've bound to have been there, Edwards, to have a listen. It was quite nice. And as you say, the Albert Hall, there's people only see it probably maybe Remembrance Sunday or something, don't they? They might catch a few minutes of that, or
last night
the proms. They don't see much of it, do they? And then to say you've been there,
you can never get tired of walking out onto that stage.
Yeah, I always remember the one. I think the first time after that sort of time that we went to the Albert Hall, and I think Tom was taking us, Tom Rees, and he was asking around the band who's been, died a bit after, wasn't it, about 2009, I think.
Yeah, Torchbearer.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, and he was asking around the band who's ever played in the Albert Hall, and there wasn't many. And luckily I'd played there with Point, so it was like, yes sir, I have. And he looked at me as if to say, never. Yeah, you fool. Yeah. Yes.
And of course, there was one year where a lot of the kind of the lower section bands got to
the
play,
Millennium, wasn't it? 2000.
What a great thrill.
Yeah.
The band that I conduct at the moment, Royal Oakley, they played there, I think in section 2 at the time, so massive thrill. That we still get to play in these venues.
Absolutely, yeah. Because I think Doug, one of my fellow monkeys, he was playing for Rill, I think, that year, the Millennium, and he says, I played there, which is great, isn't it? Because before that, when the lower sections were in London, you used to end up in like other venues around and about the Albert Hall. You never got to get there. I know there's a photo out with North from almost the black and white days, and we didn't even play in the Albert Hall, but we took a photo on the steps.
Yeah, you've been at Wembley Conference Centre, played there a couple of times.
Yeah, but we did the iconic photo as if we would played there. So what a thrill, isn't it, to go to them places?
You can never get tired of it.
No. Yeah. So so I suppose the other one is in terms of your work, I know you said you do electrical. I know you do a lot more as well. I've seen you're in terms of banding wise, you're there and everywhere, and also you're teaching as well now, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I've full-time teaching for Denbighshire, Wrexham. I do half a day for Wrexham and Conway. So I do 3 days Perrying, and I do 2 days of like a wider ops thing.
Oh, nice one.
You go into like a whole, whichever class has got year 3. Yeah. And you go in and deliver like a classroom P-buzzers.
Yeah. That one. Yeah. P-buzzers. Yeah. So what do you think of a P-buzz?
What do I think of it? Right. Officially, I think it's a fantastic introduction to potentially brass playing.
Yes.
So it's a great introduction for somebody to play the thing and then progress then maybe to a cornet or something else.
Yeah.
I also teach guitar.
Okay.
So I do classroom ukuleles as well, and I do one-to-one guitar and bass, electric guitar. These days I probably play just as much bass guitar as I do euphonium. Yeah. So yeah. And
then you've got other bands that you play with as well. With I've seen your photos of you and Linda as well.
There's few bands are playing with the bass guitar. Yeah, but mainly kind of soul, funk, blues, that kind of thing. Complete departure from
absolutely,
the brass,
how nice, yeah.
It's great, and of course we're going to the bass guitar after playing brass. I turn to the bass guitar and being able to read music, albeit it's all in bass clef.
Yes,
the dots are exactly the same, aren't they?
Yes,
So being able to read music was a massive plus for me because I could write something down and then be able to play it without having to learn it.
Yeah.
And it's weird, stuff that I learned when I was 16, when I was a lot younger. If you learn something like Grandfather's Clock, I can still play that now to some degree.
Just play it.
I can still remember it all. We played a test piece in the Grand Shield a few weeks back, and we played it in the senior trophy, I think, a few years ago.
Right, okay.
We run through it in band, and I had no recollection of ever playing that.
Yeah.
And I think over the years, you kind of when I was younger, I probably thought that learning Grandfather's Clock was really important.
Yes.
And it was like a life or death situation.
Yes. Yeah.
But
it's in that one.
But over the years, you learn that well, this piece on the euphonium is not really that.
Yeah.
It's not going to make that much difference.
Yeah. It's thrown away, isn't it?
No. So tend to play something and then hit the delete button.
Yeah. Which I suppose you have to do, don't you? Otherwise you'd be frazzled, wouldn't you, with the amount of stuff in there.
Certain. I mean, I tend to remember occasions rather than the music.
Yeah.
You know, you remember that you played that as, I remember that's happened at that contest or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always remember the one on Whit Friday as well, when we caused a bit of confusion with the draw once, didn't we? Do you remember that one?
Bit of confusion with the draw.
Yeah. There
Was that? Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Well, I think that got resolved in the end.
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
it? Yeah.
Something about a band from Queensbury. And,
Yeah, we can't. I don't think we discuss it on here.
Oh,
but,
we have before now.
yeah. But it was a great. At the end of the day, it was a massive thrill for us to walk down the street after, straight after one of the finest bands in the country.
Absolutely,
it was just
it's
real
great,
fun.
isn't it?
And then, of course, they played, and then we were going to play just after them.
Yeah.
And of course, just as they got on the coach, the heavens opened, didn't
Yes,
they? And
it did.
absolutely tipped it down.
Yes. So yeah. But
it's good fun.
But again, Whit Friday, what an event.
Oh, I could probably write a book about Whit Friday. Did you? Were you in this that time we were marching down the street in Upper Mill, and an ambulance came through the middle of the band.
Yeah.
And we had to. We were halfway through the march. We had to
and
disperse.
Just get out of the way.
The ambulance went straight through the middle of the crowd, and we got back together. And I turned around to my mate and I said, "Well, there goes the deportment prize."
But what it is fantastic, isn't it? Yeah. I remember in Upper Mill when I first went to Pontevere, and it was the time of the miners' strike. Well, we got pelted with everything. We were going down the road. Luckily, I was on the left-hand side, and it was the pub on the right-hand side where everyone was outside. Well, we just got everything thrown at us.
Yeah, well, tensions were high, weren't they?
Oh, yeah. And I was only a young lad and naive enough not to really understand how bad it was, Yeah. But yeah, it is like the greatest show on earth, isn't it, really? That you can have, a youth band, national champions. I didn't go this year, but I watched it online from the Dob Cross feed, and you get to see the British Open champions, the national champions, all sorts of, from, as I say, from some fantastic playing in some youth bands, all the way through all the different levels of bands, all the different, contest marches. It was a great evening.
Yeah, and I think there's something about a brass band playing a march, and because of where it is and how it's performed as well. You haven't got there's no drums to start with. No, it's no disrespect to any drummers. I know they enhance a lot of performances. There's a lot of music that we play we couldn't play without a drum kit. But there's something about hearing the band play outside. No, there's no reverb, there's no echo, there's nowhere to hide, and you can hear every note.
Yes.
And there's something about that. I don't know. I can't.
No, it is a special thing. I think the only two times most people listen to a band is sort of Whit Friday and Christmas, won't they? A brass band. That's when most, Joe Public would come out and listen, because a lot of them people who are in them villages listening, they're not bands people, are they? There can't be that many bands people. So
and to some people, maybe brass banding is just hymns and marches, kind of, Christmas.
It's what you do.
And then all of a sudden you hear a brass band play something like, I don't know. As brass bands, we can play anything, can't we? Bohemian Rhapsody, we can play anything. And of course they hear it and they think, "Wow, I didn't know they could do that." But of course, there's all the colours are there in the band.
Yeah, I remember the one we were playing in with Northup Hall in the cricket club, and so we were divorced because we were in a marquee from what was going on the field and everything. We were having a cricket match, and one of my old bosses come in to have a listen, and he'd had a few because he'd been batting, got out. He wasn't up to bowling because of his knee, and he come to have a listen, and he went away and he said, "Oh, that's fantastic, that." Because we were playing something like, Miller Magic or something, and he, whatever, Abergold or something we were playing, and he was made up with it. Yeah,
it's quite a versatile outfit, isn't it? A brass band.
Yes.
You lend your hand to pretty much anything.
We've managed to turn a hand to a lot of things, haven't we? Which probably, you would think, sort of 50 years ago, would have been, no, you can't play that. Well, we don't do that. So we have evolved a bit, but I don't know where we're going next, really, because it's a tough one, isn't it?
It's. I think bands have got to evolve, more now. I think the future of banding is not you know, like your just Christmas carols and marches kind of thing. We can do a lot more, and I think bands are going to evolve now to more kind of you know, your brass and concert style concerts.
Yes.
You know, where bands have been doing things like the Snowman.
I've seen a few of them.
Off and doing like themed stuff. Isn't it? I know bands have been doing it for years.
Yeah, but they're getting better, aren't they? At it, they're
better,
really good now, and it is a proper show, isn't it? Yeah. Though, as you say, that sort of Snowman one, they do really well, don't they now? And it's a great advert for the bands because it's different, isn't it? But the kids will enjoy it. They've got some connection to it, haven't they? Whereas normally, if you went to a band concert, well, it wouldn't be there, would they? To be honest, no. To start with,
and I mean maybe like the kind of soul band or the kind of soul band that I play for plays for a very kind of narrow demographic of age group, whereas a brass band typically plays to you've got you know, if you're playing out in a park somewhere or in a bandstand, you've got, you know, toddlers to, you know, their great grandparents,
which is great, and
they're all getting entertained.
And one of the guys, he's not with us anymore, always used to say, it is that sort of 60 seconds of somebody walking past the bandstand is all they hear. It's got to be good. It's got to be a bit of a toe tapper. It's got to be something that they lightens them up and picks their step up a bit, because that's all they hear of you. You know, there's not many stop. A lot of people just walk past. That's their only interaction with the band, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if it is good, and a tune they know, it's nice if they go off whistling it or whatever.
Or did you hear that band playing whatever?
Yeah. Well, that was good. Who were they? Yeah. Where are you from? Yeah, sort of questions. Yeah. Because I know we always used to do sort of Chester on the bandstand there. You know, that used to be one of our annual ones, and the odd time we played it in Llandudno on the front there. You know, we used to go with Flint. We used to have a bus. You know, the coach pick us up all the way along, and then go and play there, and come back in Prestat into the Nans Hotel. I know it's shut now, but that used to be where we'd have a sherbet on the way back.
I think most people have played on the prom in Llandudno. Yeah. Played there with Towin Band back in the 80s. Where we had a centenary. It was quite strange. We had the centenary of the band was 1987, and because the kind of the band was celebrating 100 years, they had a Victorian themed.
Oh right, okay.
Thing. Now the town sort of embraced it.
Yeah.
Probably as much as, if not more than, the band. Yeah. And they had this, and that Victorian festival, I think, is still going to this.
It is
like
over
40 years on.
The Maybank holiday now, isn't it? They've got a 3-day event.
So that event's still going. So that little thing has been a catalyst for, you know.
Yes.
Lots
of bigger things. Yeah. Yeah, because that playing on the front in, as you say, in Llandudno, I think everybody's done it with their own band, or they've helped actually Llandudno out. I know I got a call a couple of times over the years when they've been short. But it's actually the 100th year this year, isn't it? They're for the playing on the front, on the bandstand.
In Llandudno band? Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Because Andrew Jones was, last year I went to it was actually the last one for 99 years, and he was saying originally the band used to play all the way along the front, and they used to have almost like with a hand cart or a horse and cart that used to go to different places along the front for the band to play. Wow. So they literally played the full, front.
Wow.
Yeah, how things have gone. But yeah, it's great, lovely that one, isn't it? I like going there to have a listen on a Monday night. Yeah. So yeah, again, a good one. Again, they usually play upbeat music, so it's okay, and people dancing around and doing whatever.
Yeah. The success of a concert depends on what the band plays.
Yes.
And how they connect with the audience. I think that's the main thing. Yeah. If they play, you and I would like to go to a concert where one of the top bands plays all these highbrow test.
Yes, absolutely.
We'd love it. We'd love it.
Yeah.
But it's going back to my mum will hate me for saying this, but if there's a test piece,
Yes.
and I'll say, "Oh, you're going to come to what? What are you going to come to?
Yeah. Have a listen.
You know, have a listen to the
Yeah.
band, especially when, let's say, North, the band that my brother plays in, they qualified, a big thing. And of course, the question is, what's the test piece? You know, is it one of these out of tune tunes? And I think, you know, to us, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. But I think to the general listener, I think there's a danger that a lot of this music is, you know, deemed to be quite highbrow. So what a band plays is really. It's like they hit the nail on the head with Brastoff, didn't they? Where they played 1812 Orchard, and somebody commented in one of these forums saying that piece would never be used for the finals. Well, it was. Yeah. Many years ago, it was used for the contest.
It was. All these things were transcribed for brass band, weren't they?
But can you imagine that film with a modern test piece in?
Yeah, they'd go.
People would just switch it off.
That would have been the end of the film. Yeah. So it is that with, and I suppose like for concerts as well, it's almost making sure you frame it the right way, whether it be a light one or a bit more highbrow. You can have both, can't you? Yeah. But you've got to tell people, haven't you?
Yeah, and it's the connection with the audience is the single most important thing.
Yeah, and once you're in, if you're doing it again next year, they know what they're going to get, don't they? They know it's going to be whatever it might be. You know, program A type music, whatever that may be.
We've all played like Christmas time. We've all played Schneewalzer.
Yes.
And you know, you can play it.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks it's great. You can play it and get the crowd to clap, and it's next thing you're
greatest thing ever. Yeah, we'll have that again. Yeah, you can come next year.
And because it's the same music, but it's the way it's delivered, isn't it?
Yes.
It's the connection with the audience.
Yeah, if you can get that, and it's not always easy because of who the band is, who you got in the middle, or the audience as well. Sometimes they just won't have it, will they? They won't. There's no feedback, is there, from other ones? They're full of it.
I mean, it was Schneewalzer one. I think you were in the concert. I nearly ended up on the floor, didn't I?
Remember? Oh, yeah.
Well, we were doing this Schneewalzer. We were moving about, and what can I say? Soprano player was moving about a bit much.
Yes.
Who should remain anonymous. And he swayed and he kind of fell on the floor. And I thought, oh dear, I've got to go and help him. So I went to help him, and I reached down. I was conducting at the time, so I reached down to grab him, and he tried to pull me down, didn't he? Because what he wanted was the both of us rolling about on the floor. Now, I suppose from a visual point of view, it would have been quite entertaining seeing two big guys.
Not really, no, not one you tried to conduct. No,
but luckily he wasn't quite strong enough to pull me down.
Yeah, but they're the ones, aren't they? But if it's part of the show and they know something's going to happen, it's okay. It's when something happens like that, your sock player falls off the stage and everyone goes, what's going on? It's like a joke, isn't it? It's like if somebody tells a joke or out of the band, if everybody doesn't hear it and everybody doesn't get it.
That is a no-no in a band concert. If you, the worst thing you can do in a band is to crack a joke on stage that the audience doesn't hear. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, you've got all these people that have bought a ticket and not part of that. Yeah. And I always think, as a conductor, if there's a joke in the band, I will always turn round and share it with them.
Say, oh, well, this is, the reason why them two are laughing is,
So, and then, of course, the audience then is part of the joke.
Yeah. Right, and they understand now, Yeah, because otherwise it's just like blank faces and a mumble from the front. Maybe they got it, and so it is a tough one, isn't it? Say that the concert lark is harder work than when people think. It's
definitely, and I mean, I'll never ever, I've been lucky to work with people that are really good at it. Like Richard Evans and people like that. He's a master of, a concert, performing in a concert.
Yeah, he could work the crowd well, couldn't he?
Oh,
He was that showman, really, wasn't he?
Yeah. Which, I can never ever do anything like that. But if I could do a little bit of it,
crack a joke that is. It's
one of them having. I probably couldn't crack many of his jokes. And get away with it.
No, don't be me. No, having played in the band with him for a while, no, definitely not. But again, they were ace, weren't they? Somebody like him, in the middle, all the stuff you pick up, and
Yeah, and you know, some of the conductors I've worked with have been, you know, quite inspiring, really.
Yeah, and you pick up so much, don't you? It was like we had Russell Gray on not long ago, and I always remember once he did a bass sectional with us, and he spent the whole section on balance, and you know what's MP, what's MF, and we were playing, you know, probably 20% full of sound and 20% less effort, because he got us in tune on everything.
Yeah.
You know, he got that intonation bit right, and he got us blowing as one. So it was just that teamwork. How you do that is magical.
Even though you guys were probably playing lighter than usual, you probably sounded bigger.
Yeah, we did. We had a bigger, you know, nicer, fuller sound, definitely, and it gave you a bit of chance to actually use your ears a bit more on what was going on, because it is wild, isn't it? What happens?
I mean, sound is everything, not on a brass instrument, isn't it? I mean, I always say when I teach, I always it sounds ridiculous every time I say it, but if you've got a good sound, then everything sounds good, and it sounds ridiculous like that, but it's true, isn't it? It's
yes, absolutely.
If you can make a decent sound, then your slow melody playing's good. You fast,
everything comes, doesn't it? Yeah.
I don't know. I can't stress. Sound is everything.
Yeah, and I always remember going back to Graham Jones when he was our conductor in Northup, and at one time he was taking Northup and Point of Air at the same time, which is amazing. He was the principal cornet in Campbell Laird's band when he was playing, when Jim Scott was conducting. So that was a link to when Jim Scott come to play, to conduct Northup the first time. But his it was all sounds with him. And at the time I didn't understand it, but he would absolutely go bananas. Say if the rep wasn't there, you know, say the rep player's not there, and he'd be playing along and he'd say, right, stop, play that note, and he'd be going, I can't do anything with this.
Oh yeah, because he had one note missing.
You know, it was all chords and balance. It was great what he was doing, but you know, I was quite young and naive at that time not to understand what he was actually getting out of us. You know, again, he was a fantastic musician. And again, like, he used to pick some pieces a bit left field, which were rock hard and things. You know, we did an entertainment contest one time, and he had us playing the Corsair, and then you could hear the other bands going, "Oh, they're playing the Corsair." You know, it was like, as in they were worried about what we were doing, because you know, and we played it well. So yeah, it is a bit of a flip flop, really, isn't it, with all these things?
Definitely,
yeah. So that really rounds up the playing, doesn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I went to Northup 2006, and I'm still there.
Yeah, what success you've had as well. As you say, the Open, was it 3 times in the Open?
Three times in the Open.
Yeah.
I think
national finals.
Three times in the Old Ball. Maybe 4. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so that's absolutely amazing, isn't it? And you know, you know, you just don't get a chance for these things. There's not many people played in the British Open, is there?
There's not many musicians that have played in probably the most prestigious venue in the country, probably Albert Hall.
Yes.
And you think we're really lucky as brass players that we get the chance to play there. Because a lot of players that play other instruments, unless they're playing a professional orchestra, they're probably not going to get to play there, unfortunately.
Never get the chance, will they? So so we are fortunate in that way, but and it's an amazing hobby, isn't it? Wherever you go, as you say, in the country, around and about, even abroad, you'll find a band or some musicians who'll look after you, even if you're not playing.
Definitely, you know, and you see a lot of posts on social media. Somebody will say, "Oh, we're on our holidays in Cornwall or somewhere. Is there a band local?" That was it, and instantly there's always people like, come and play with our band. You're welcome.
Come and have a blow,
and I know, you know, before you go there, you know you're going to be welcome.
You're not going to get the players sitting around the stand going, "Who's he then?"
No,
you're going to actually get, "Hello, how are you? Where are you stopping? What you doing?"
Definitely.
Oh, you got your wife there. So it is, again. It's absolutely great, isn't it? And as you say, all the time through the summer, we'll see it when people asking, you know, or even you see it sometimes in work, don't you? You see somebody saying, "I'm working, say, you know, in the Chester area. Any band's practicing on Thursday, I can come and have a toot with. I play whatever." Yeah. So it's great, yeah, and it's been lovely to speak to you, Aled, I must admit, to catch up. As usually when we see each other, we're rushing around contesting or concerts, and we haven't got time to say hello, really. It's just usually a wave, a shake of the hand, and how are you doing? So absolutely fantastic. Thank you for spending the time with us.
It's been a pleasure, Steve. Thanks for having us. Yeah. And yeah.
Thank you for everything. Cheers.
That was great, Steve.
Thanks. Yeah, it was really interesting. Great to catch up with Aled, and I think we could have kept going for hours with other stories and things, but they're not. We couldn't have broadcast them.
He's Mr. Bandsman, isn't he? Let's be honest. Along with yourself, of course. You couldn't have got two better people to do it. Anyway, that's it for today. We'll have Doug back with us next time, and hopefully we might talk a bit about the Buckley Jubilee that was just recently done.
Yes,
in
indeed.
the heat wave.
In the heat wave, that was,
yes.
yes.
Which is very interesting.
Yes.
So again, it's a bye from me.
And it's a bye from me.